Yes, welcome back to another video, guys. That's right, today we're back for another movie review, and it is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So I'm going to keep this spoiler-free, so if anyone's worried about spoilers, don't worry, you're not going to get any here. So yeah, we're just gonna crack on. So Spider-Verse Across the Spider-Verse picks up from the following movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It sees Miles Morales gaining more confidence as he becomes the web-slinging hero Spider-Man, and there is a new threat which comes about, and they must enter the multiverse once again, and you're going to see him catch up with some of his old friends, meet some new friends, and have a fantastic adventure along the way. And yeah, I didn't know loads about this film going into it. I didn't really watch many trailers because I wanted to kind of keep away from it. And, you know, the first Spider-Verse film is probably my favourite comic book film of all time. I loved the first Spider-Verse film. I thought the story was just very simple, but it kept a lot of heart to it, and the animation style was just out of this world, and it's probably the best origin story I've seen for a superhero movie, and I really didn't think in any way, shape, or form they could top it. I thought that's just an impossible task. I thought the only thing they can potentially do is make a film almost as good, but I'm going to be honest, I think they might have topped it. I'm not sure how, but I don't honestly have any complaints with this film. It went above and beyond my expectations, and I think it is not only one of the best comic book movies, probably the best comic book film I've ever seen. It's up there with one of the greatest films I've ever seen, to be honest. This film is just outstanding in every aspect. It took everything I loved from the first one and amplified it by 100. So let's start off with the obvious, the animation style to this movie. I love the style of the first one. I loved it, like, you can pause this film during any frame and you'll get a clear picture. It's just such a cool, unique style that takes so long for these poor animators to do, but they're doing such an incredible job with it. And with the first one, you had that amazing style, and they very much keep that. But here, when you go into the different multiverses and you go to different worlds, they give you a completely new style, a very new artistic, fresh approach. And it is just, the whole time you are just in awe of this movie. It might be the best looking film I've ever seen. You are just constantly watching it going, this is perhaps the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It is outstanding. And the effort that the animators went through for this, for that, anyone giving this a bad review just clearly shouldn't be talking about movies, because you need to appreciate the work and the time that went into this, because it's beyond incredible, to be honest. And then let's talk about the story. The first one has a very simplistic origin story approach mixed with some multiverse stuff, because you are bringing Spider-Man from different multiverses, and here it somehow ups the story and it becomes so much more compelling, even though I love the first one and I don't want to knock it in any way, shape or form, but this one really just pushes the boundaries in how far it's willing to go with its story. And a thing that I said to a few of my friends when we walked out is, if any other directors were doing this, like 9 out of 10 directors would have made this film so messy, because there is a lot going on. As you can see from the trailers, we got Spider-Man 2099 in it, we've got The Spot, and there's a lot of stuff with Miles's parents and Gwen and blah, 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 blah. Any other director would have just made this film a complete mess, to be honest. But the pacing throughout this film is brilliant. You don't get lost. You always know what's going on, and it just all flows so well. And with that comes great characters, I think. Gwen is the standout in this one. They really push her character a lot more in this one than the previous movie. The previous one, it was more Miles and Peter. Here it's more Miles and Gwen. And the development they gave to her character was brilliant. I thought Miles was once again great. You're seeing him a bit more grown up, maturing a bit, but also coming to terms with a lot more of the responsibilities he has and the sacrifices he needs to make to be this hero. And again, Peter's back as well, he's just great. I love this version of Peter Parker. I think he's just so much older and so much more mature than any other version we've seen. I'm hoping if we see Tobey again in live action, this is an approach they could go with his Spider-Man. With the new characters, there's a lot to really like. There's I forget her name, Spider-Woman, who rides a motorbike. She was pretty cool. Spider-Man 2099, he just looks badass, man. What a cool character. And the villain, the Spot, actually killed me. So funny. I forget the actor's name who voiced him, but he done such a funny job, and I loved him. I thought it was brilliant. They used his powers so well, and they really showed how much stronger he was getting as the film progressed, and I thought that was really good. And that's another thing I want to talk about with the humour, because I know a lot of people go, oh, it has the typical modern day humour. No, it don't. This is a very, again, stylistic type of humour that these writers have carried over from previous movies. And I think it really suits these films so well. All the jokes land. They all happen at the right and appropriate times. Yeah, everything about this film just lands. And the ending itself, obviously not going to spoil it, but the ending was brilliant, I thought, without getting into it. And I just genuinely cannot wait for the next movie next year. Yeah, I think that's about all I'm going to say, to be honest. I don't want to go on too long because I don't want to run the risk of spoiling anything. Oh, I also did want to mention that one of my favourite parts about this movie, because there's so much going on in it, you do have loads of cameos and stuff when they go into that bit that you see in the trailer of all the Spider-Men, and there's so many cool action sequences. But one of my favourite things about this movie was Miles' relationship with his parents. In the first act, you get some really fantastic scenes between all three of them. And in the first film, I sort of, his mum really didn't seem to get any attention in the first film, whereas here, she's front and centre with the dad, and the family relationship that they have going on it's really good. And I really appreciate that about the movie. But anyway, yeah, I honestly don't have a single negative about this movie. I think it's perfect, to be honest. Yeah, there's only like there's two films that come out last year that I said that about, but I very rarely say this about new films. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Yeah, this is best Spider-Man film, easily, along with the first one. Best comic book film, easily, along with the first one. And one of my favourite movies ever. Would probably be in my top 25 films, I think. Yeah. So, it's a really good film. Really good. Wow, I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't know how they matched or topped the first one, whatever you want to say. But I did it. This film's brilliant. Go see it at the cinema. It's just unlike anything you'll see this year. It is, most years, to be honest. It's a pretty phenomenal film. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching as always. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message. And as always, I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.